Sup everyone, welcome back to our channel, and today we're gonna have the Monster Hunter Rise. It's the latest entry in the Monster Hunter franchise. Released in March for the Nintendo Switch, the game promises to be ultimate experience for both veteran gamers and the new hunters looking for the first Cerbid tooth. But does it deliver what it promises? Let's check it. First of all, let's talk about the story. What? Do you have story in Monster Hunter? Yeah, young Padawan, oddly enough, Monster Hunter has history. And the story of this game is to be the only skilled young monster hunter in the Kamura village. Kamura village is a peaceful place with numerous extremely unique and striking characters. Each of them has its own personality, even NPC that we usually ignore, like blacksmith and the merchant just waiting to see the services. However, the village live in the fear of phenomenon called frenzy, in which multiple monsters attack at the same time. It's a phenomenon that happens from time to time. The last time, 50 years before current history, it nearly wiped out the entire village. Signs point to the return of the phenomenon, and it's where you, new hunter or hunters, step into the adventure. And then the first cool thing about the game begins. The customization is almost infinite. Have fun creating your character exactly the way you want, from ear design to voice. From quest to scavenge and collect materials to slay the even growing monsters, Monster Hunter Rise slowly introduced the world of Monster Hunter to those who have never played it, while also allowing the veterans to travel the story as quickly as possible to go, play online and hunt increasingly difficult monsters. Despite the story, the game basically consists of same formula as always. Do specific numbers of quests of a certain level to unlock an urgent quest, which unlocks more difficult quests and so on, until you reach the limit. Go back to the village, accept the quest, eat dungeons, hunt monsters, go back to the village, accept the quest, eat dungeons, hunt monsters, and this cycle goes. Anyway, you got the general idea. But as repetitive it sounds, as each monster has unique characteristics. The hunt itself is quite varied, and all of the new elements in the game make immersion a lot easier. I'll get to that in a moment. The game has two types of missions, as usual, the villages one and the Enquanto area ones. This time the village ones are even easier than usual, probably so not to scare off newbies to the game. For veterans, the Gathering Area missions offer legitimate difficulty, especially when playing in a multiplayer. And running with the story in village quest also you to speed up the process and already jump to the Gathering Area quest directly to 4 stars, which makes hunting bigger monsters a lot easier. Collecting materials to improve your weapons and armor is even easier with armor spheres and other materials, so they don't rely on monsters being given away as rewards of infinite replayable optional quests. The only downside is that the story doesn't seem finished. And if the story is any excuse to hunt more monsters, let's talk about the monsters themselves. As they are lead stars of the show, there are over 60 monsters, with the new ones being added with each update, including 9 new monsters. And you have to stay, seems old, and I have to say that they are amazing. Seeing old favorites like Raytheon, Barriot and Nakaruka in the Switch visuals is wonderful. Most keep their features, but they were surprised by some changes in some of them. Deemed surprises. I'll leave it for you to see what you play. The new monsters are pretty decent and worthy additions to existing roster. It was quite interesting to discover the strength and the weakness of each of them for the first time, rather than having guides to help me with that. Cataloging species for the first time, and the introduction of each monster is chilling. Monster Hunter Rise gameplay is the best in franchise history. There are several spots where if you can pick up a great cabinetic and be hurled somewhere else on the map, you can travel great distances quickly on your Mikao without spending stamina. In addition, themselves, despite talking a little, getting used to become something essential later on. So returning to the Monster Hunter Rise, even from a distance, the scenarios are wonderful. When we wrote about the demo, we commented that the maps looked empty, but they should be supplemented in the final version, and they did. And that's what we see. The amount of different background elements is incredible. I didn't experience any frame rate drops at any time. The game flowed perfectly without any stuttering during the entire time I played it offline. whenever docked on the portable mode without performance differences. The game sounds also wonderful. Each monster sounds different and realistic. Some roars are scary and the whole environment is alive. Playing with the headphones is fantastic, immersive experience. You forgot the world around you, so perfect is the sound. Several characters have voices too, in 3 language options: Japanese, English and the in-game. They all sound great. If you have to say game defect, is the translation. While the main elements of the game were beautifully translated with the perfect puns and brilliant insights, several menu elements and minor issues seem to have been translated automatically. Reporting a completed mission has become alert, for example. It's something that can be fixed in the future updates, but other than that, the game is very good in Portuguese also, and in German. Including all the subtitles for the monsters into poems were also translated into poems, an excellent job in this part. More experienced hunters really want to know about online, and here I can say that the experience is just as good. I didn't have that much time to play online, but every opportunity match were found quickly, either with people on my list or the people I didn't know. The monster and many elements in the background, but it was much better than I expected to be. If only what 2 disconnections in dozens of matches, and I was able to get back into quickly through the lobby. The fact that we can take a friend or Pelico along us instead of having to choose to go the main character or the Pelico makes possibility to have strategies that can be created with your hunter friends even more diverse. Anyway, into the intro, I asked if Monster Hunter Rise delivered what I promised, and it did. The classical formula has been kept without enough additions to revamp and make it unique, making this a must-play game for everyone to try at least once. Verdict: Monster Hunter Rise delivers on its promise and its ultimate Monster Hunter experience, without enough new elements to see itself apart from any other game in the franchise. It must have for any action game fan.